Hi, well, anyone that is watching, this this video is gonna be centering on, well, it's pretty obvious from the title, but it's a tier list ranking the Tom and Jerry characters and how well they stack up against each other, and it basically this video is gonna be serving as a follow-up to the Tom and Jerry tier list I made based upon the iterations and incarnations, you know, like TV series, shorts, and movies that have been released um, within the franchise. Um, before I go on to before I go on to the character tier list, I just wanted to comment a few more things on my last list. Just things I forgot or got or things I forgot to mention or got wrong. Um, so let's start with the Chuck Jones shorts. Um, so a lot of people didn't like the Jones shorts. Clearly, I mean, I agree they were inferior to the originals done by Hanna-Barbera. Before they actually formed their company, but that's what people call them, I guess. So yeah, they're definitely not as good as the ones that William Hanna and Joseph Barbera made during Tom and Jerry's initial run, but I still think that Jones brings enough, you know, life into it where it stands on its own. A lot of people criticized it for kind of being, overly cute um, or dull, not really sharp like the previous cartoons. Um, Perhaps this was a response to how violent the date shorts got. Not that they were that violent or malicious compared to predecessor, but it had one character who would just go crazy against Tom. So although it was probably more likely due to Jones's art, like changes in kind of writing and art and artistic tastes. So Jones himself said that he didn't really like Tom and Jerry, and that despite being the guy who helped create Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner, this series really wasn't a good fit for him. Um, he had trouble adapting to the type of humor, and he said that I believe he said at one point that um, he basic basically created the characters as his own rather than as Tom and Jerry. Like he used the Tom and Jerry names and basic designs, but to him, he just like created um entirely different duo that just looked the same and had the same names. He said that they were essentially Tom and Jerry and Drat. I mean, no. He said that they were essentially Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner in Tom and Jerry drag, and I can see it. Although, um, I guess he had to compromise with the style of humor that Tom and Jerry was about. So, and um, with his own style, it just didn't gel together as well as people would have hoped. So, kind of a shame that it didn't work out. kind of wish there were more because, to be honest, I still hold a soft spot for them. But oh well. Now, the Tom and Jerry movie. Um, what were my thoughts on those? Or on that? Um, just look in my mind right now. Oh yeah. So unlike, it seemed like most people prejudged this movie because once they learned that Tom and Jerry were going to be talking throughout, they thought it was going to be bad. I mean, it clearly is. I mean, even this list says so. So, but when I was younger, I actually thought it was kind of cool. It's like, I mean, when I was a kid, I didn't really treat it as a rule. I was just like, oh, that's cool. I didn't really, they didn't really talk a whole lot in the old shorts, so this might be kind of fun. So at the time, I didn't mind it. I actually kind of liked it. But as soon as I, kind of matured a bit and after the novelty wore off, I can kind of see that it actually hampers the movie quite a bit. And it's probably another reason why, they didn't focus on actual, you know, Tom and Jerry fights and gags because they were just wasting their time talking to each other. So yeah, another reason why not good. Now the problem. Moving on to the Tom and Jerry show from 2014, which is still ongoing for some reason. Um, problem that One of the problems that this show has is actually one of the same problems that the Tom and Jerry movie has, and that is it has way too much dialogue. And although it seems like they make it a point to not have Tom and Jerry talk, which means pretty much every other character is able to talk, even Nibbles or Tuffy or whatever you want to call him. I call him Nibbles, but and they treat it like such a rule that Tom and Jerry can't talk, even though clearly they did in the theatrical shorts at certain points. And it just kind of bugs me. It's like it kind of feels like they they understand what Tom and Jerry is, but it kind of feels like they think that they understand what it is, but so they treat it as a rule that Tom and Jerry can't talk, which means which they think means that everyone else can talk, and it's another reason why it's kind of a weak show compared to some of the other efforts because they spend so much time on this dialogue that it honestly makes it feel like a sitcom at times. Like we're just focusing in on the problems that Spike or Butch are having or whatever, and it really kind of muddles the spirit of Tom and Jerry, just like the Tom and Jerry movie. So, I mean, I guess to me, Tom and Jerry can talk, but only when there's a really good reason to do so. And that is usually a good joke or something funny to say. And and this one doesn't have them talk at all, and this one has them talking like 99% of the time. So, but they still suffer from the same problem. All we just want to see is hyper violence, not drama. Not that either of these series gets to the point where it feels like a drama, but you know. Okay, those were the last things I really had to say, other than some corrections. This is called the Tom and Jerry Comedy Show, not the Filmation Tom and Jerry. Um, in that I called the studio that worked on the date shorts Rembrandt Studios when it was actually Rembrandt Films. That's pretty much all I have to say for this list. So let's move on to the Tom and Jerry character tier list. So for this list, I have, you know, surprisingly enough, nobody actually thought to make a tier list for the characters, like the characters of Tom and Jerry. So maybe that isn't surprising. I don't know. So that means I had to make my own, and it was honestly a pain because I had to get all these images and then resize them to be in the shape of a perfect square, and man, it was pretty tedious looking around for good and viable images to use and then having to crop and resize them and stuff like that. So for this list, I included all the characters. Okay, not all, but a lot of the main and recurring, and even some one-time characters from the theatrical series. Now, the theatrical series of Tom and Jerry, from what I understand, are defined by three different eras. The original MGM Hanna-Barbera run, second run being um, the Gene Deitch run, and the third and final run being the Chuck Jones run. So I have included characters from all three eras, and I've also included Tom and Jerry from each of those eras because each director and each director and their corresponding teams had had kind of different interpretations clearly. So um, some one version of Tom might be better than another version of Tom. So I figured it'd be a good thing to include. So I guess that's enough. I guess that's enough rambling. I might as well get to it. So where would I start? Oh man, so many characters. It's about 33. I think I'll start off with Nibbles, because why not? He's sometimes called Tuffy, but I don't like that name, so I'm just gonna call him Nibbles. So, this character is never really lost. Oh yeah, I should... One final thing I should make clear. Um, I'll be deciding their placements. My mind kind of just like jumps ahead, so skipped over something very obvious and important. So, um, I'm gonna be ranking these characters based upon their strengths, um, wins, and losses. So it will also take into account for the number of times that they appeared in. So for some characters, they only appeared once, but like one won or lost, I won't put them at the top or bottom because of the fact that their appearances were so limited. So a character like Muscles, for example, even though he never lost, he only appeared in one short. So I'm not gonna put him at I'm not gonna put him in the S tier. So that's gonna be one rule I'll set down. So yeah, basically I'm gonna be judging these characters based upon their strengths, weak wins, weak strengths, wins, losses, and appearances. Number of appearances. So let's start off with Nibbles. Now, for this character, he never technically lost in any of the shorts that he appeared in, but quite a bit he had to rely upon Jerry to save him in some situations. He returned the favor, but um, I wouldn't say that it was kind of. I wouldn't say it was to the point where they were equals. So I think he goes at the top of the. I would say that he goes at the top of B tier. Now let's move on to um. It's another good character. You know what? Nah, I'm gonna save him. I'm just gonna do this baby. So, again, this character never really lost. In fact, I would say he's kind of neutral. But considering how, oh, I should probably give a little context on who this guy is. So clearly, it's a baby. There were two Tom and Jerry shorts in which, um, the owners had to leave and they left their house to a babysitter to watch over this child named Ben, I guess. But the babysitter was pretty irresponsible and pretty much only checked like once throughout the entire short. So that allowed this baby to basically just crawl over the place and get out of the house into dangerous areas, and Tom and Jerry had to make sure nothing bad happened to them. It seems like even with their help, he always had a good amount of luck to him. So he never really got hurt. Um, in part because of Tom and Jerry, but even without him, he seemed to be doing pretty well despite in the dangerous areas he would crawl into. So I would say he goes in B tier. Now let's do one of the main characters, Tom. Yes, classic Tom. You know, it really sucks to do this because Tom's my personally, Tom's one of my favorite characters. I like him quite a bit more than Jerry. I don't like Jerry's cockiness, but based on the statistics, he is just not a winner. All right, so I mean, he's won a few times here and there, like in the $1 Million Cat, where he finally loses it and starts being torturing Jerry for, well, being an absolute nuisance throughout the entire cartoon. So there are instances where he has won, but he's pretty much been walled out by Jerry. So I'm gonna have to go onto the E tier, I'd say. Now, Butch. Hmm. He hasn't had. No. Well, here's something fun about the character. He actually didn't start off as a Tom and Jerry character. He originated in a different short. I forget exactly what it was called, but it was another MGM short, and for whatever reason, I guess they decided to reuse his model sheet or whatever, like, or something like that. I guess Hanna-Barbera had access to like the character designs from other shorts, and they thought he would be a good fit. So, I mean, I'm not really sure why he was integrated into the Tom and Jerry universe, but he didn't start out as one. Okay, enough about that pretext. So he's not very much of a winner, I suppose, but I would say he has some wins over Tom in certain areas, so I would say that he goes at bottom D tier. Now, let's do this character. This character's name is apparently Merlin, and it originated from the Chuck Jones Tom and Jerry short Haunted Mouse. And basically, he's like this not exactly a magician because I mean, I guess he kind of is, but it seems like his magic is actually real and not just illusions. So, but basically, he's this mouse that looks like Jerry who can do all sorts of magic acts, and I think it's implied that it's either a relative or a close friend or something like that. I'm not really sure what their relation is, but throughout the entire cartoon, he pretty much um, dominates Tom and is utterly confident. I mean, not to an annoying degree in the same way that Jerry is. Like, I wouldn't say he like mocks Tom, or is he just kind of look. So, not that that really factors into how good of a character he is on this list, but just saying he's not as annoying as Jerry because he's not so smug about winning. I mean, I guess he is. I mean, he definitely looks down on Tom, that's for sure, but he's not a jerk about it for the most part. He only appeared in one short, so um, I would say, like, given how he totally put Tom in his place, I would put him at the bottom of A tier. So, if I'm remembering their names correctly, Puff, Muff, and Fluff, right? Yeah, that's their names. They're the trio of kittens that only had two appearances within the theatrical shorts. I guess they've made some appearances since then, but I'm not counting them. So, in their first appearance was Heavenly Puss. Basically, in that short, Tom ends up going to heaven after suffering a fatal injury, I guess, and he sees other cats who've also ended up in heaven, and they're there because it appears somebody tied him up in a bag and made him drown, which is sad. But spoiler, that whole episode took place in a dream, so none of that really happened. So the second appearance didn't take place in a dream, and basically they end up just they just torture Tom and Jerry for throughout the entire short and make their lives miserable. And it's only at the end where they eventually get um get what's coming to them. So I would consider that a loss, but it's only on one appearance, so I guess I would put it in E tier. So, okay, Muscles. This is Jerry's cousin, and he only made one appearance. So, but despite being a mouse, he was pretty strong, as his name implies, and he was able to totally destroy Tom in any fight that he tried to put up. And it got to the point where Tom tried to hire a gang to get rid of him, but even they were no match. They imply in the cartoon that he killed some cats, so yeah, he's rather strong. But again, he only made one appearance, so I'd say hmm, he ranks somewhere on the same level as Merlin, I suppose, but since Merlin has magic, I guess I would put him right below him. Ah, yes. Speaking of cousins, this is Tom's cousin, George, who looks exactly like Tom. Because, of course, all relatives have to look the same. At least in these shorts. In fact, in this short with muscles, at the end of the cartoon, he hands Jerry, um, the exact type of clothes he wears to make Tom think he's muscles, so he's not bugging him. So Tom won't be bugging Jerry. So in this cartoon with Tom's cousin George, he's pretty much the opposite of Tom, or I mean, Muscles, in that where Muscles is like a super strong and masculine uh mouse. He is an extremely frightened and jumpy cat, afraid of even mice. And when he comes to visit Tom's house, I guess you don't actually see an owner, but whatever. Um, Jerry mistakes George for Tom, and and due to his fear, I guess Jerry comes to think that Tom, for some reason, is now afraid of mice. So, but then when Tom actually shows up and puts, um, like knocks Jerry's out and everything, it kind of creates this sort of confusion. But eventually, it gets to the point where George can't take it anymore, and then Tom comes up with a plan for them to get Jerry to stop um, torturing George. I mean, to Jerry, he's torturing Tom, but he doesn't know that, of course. So basically, at the end of the cartoon, they take advantage of the fact that they look alike, and they make it seem like that that Tom himself is somehow popping up all over the place. And then at the end, they make it seem like that they're actually a two-headed cat monster, and it causes Jerry to have a nervous breakdown and just totally like just rocket out of the house into a mental hospital. So yeah, so he didn't technically lose in that sense, but it was due to Tom that he was able to win. Um, and he only made one appearance, so I'd say I guess I would put him above, maybe in between Tom and these guys. I'm gonna have to think about that one. So okay, remember anybody remember this guy? His name is Clint Clobber apparently, and he was Tom's owner in the Gene Date shorts, and he was incredibly abusive. And one of the most annoying things about the Date shorts was that um basically Jerry would pull that thing that he did with Spike, where he would always make it look like Tom was causing problems for him when it was actually Jerry or whatever. And then he would accordingly punish Tom for it. And to me, I just kind of got really sick of that kind of formula where Jerry is pretty much not acknowledged by this third party, uh, like a tertiary character. So, did he? he was good at putting. He was good at punishing Tom. I would say that. So Tom never really got one over on him. There were there were shorts. I'd say there's one. Let's think. Appeared in High Stakes and one, that one about fishing. I forget what it's called. I think he only appeared in 3 shorts. Could be wrong. I don't think I am, but he only lost in one, so I'd say he's probably in D tier. Now, Quacker. You know, even though I don't like Jerry that much, for some reason I find Quacker very amusing. Um, he was just basically this duck character with a, well, Donald Duck type voice that often was a ally or friend of Jerry in some way. Um, it was off in most cartoons. It seemed like it was to the point where Jerry often had to save him. So I wouldn't say he's particularly strong, but in most of those cartoons, he never ended up on the losing side. So I'd say he has something going for him. He did lose in one along with Jerry against Tom. It was like an episode with Vanishing Cream. Um, so I think maybe the top is C tier. Now let's do Spike. Yes. Again, he's he's often kind of not exactly on a winning or losing side, but really he's just kind of like this. Um, I mean, he's clearly a distinct character, but he's not really a main focus. So he never really loses, except I guess in one short in which ants take away his picnic lunch for him and his son. So, but he can totally I need to stop saying totally. He can yeah, I am freezing up here. He can own Tom at pretty much any fight. He never really fought Jerry from what I remember. There was one short in which he did, but I didn't actually see it, so I can't say how that turned out. So, I would say he's probably bottom of B tier. And let's just get his son out of the way. Now, there was actually a very limited series. Not that it was a limited series, but there was this spin-off series of Tom and Jerry just focusing on Spike and Tyke. Um, but it was very short-lived, and I guess it didn't really take off. And I haven't seen those, and I'm not sure if I would actually count whatever happens in those shorts as a part of their ranking in this list. Um, but from what I can say of Tyke, he's not exactly a winner or a loser. But if you had to really think about it, he hasn't lost really, but that was mainly because of his dad always like looking out for him and everything. Um, I'm gonna point to that one episode, I guess, where he was suffering from hiccups and he just wasn't able to do anything about it, and it was only Tom who inadvertently stopped his hiccups where he got help. So So yeah, hiccups and the fact that he has to rely upon his dad, I would say he's, I don't know, maybe top of C tier. Although he also lost at lunch along with his dad, so you know what? I'll just put him below Quacker. This cat, oh my gosh, I am just forgetting his name. I looked up all these characters' names in preparation, but his is just slipping my mind right now. His name was. I'm gonna have to look it up. I mean, I know that's kind of wasting time here, but just bugging me. Hopefully, it won't take long. Oh wait, I just remembered it actually. I think his name is Topsy. So yeah, Topsy. Um, he appeared in a few shorts. He wasn't exactly the most prominent character, but he was usually kind of like a alley cat that was on good terms with Tom. Although there was one short in which him and two other alley cats like Butch totally teased Tom for being pampered by this kid. So in that sense, he was antagonist to him. Then another short, Tom's trying to teach Topsy, you know, cat and cats and mice are enemies and everything. But he ends up getting along with Jerry quite well and eventually sides with them, and I guess they win at the end. So in that short, he had to rely upon Jerry to save him from being punished, and then in some other shorts in which he appears as an alley cat, I can only think of one at the moment, but I'm pretty sure he gets chased out at Spike in one clip show type episode. So he's not exactly the most viable character here. So I'd probably put him below Butch. So now this character, Cuckoo, is a canary. He only appeared in two shorts, but I would say if it wasn't for his limited number of appearances, I'd say he's probably about Jerry's equal because even though there are points where Jerry had to save him, there were also just as many um, there's also a good number of points where or scenes where he had to save Jerry's. So I would put him at the put him in A tier. Now this guy. Anybody remember him? Well, this is an Italian mouse named Topo. I think that's his name. Um, either that is Topo, but either way, um, he only appeared in one short, and really, I'm just including him for fun and because this was a short I grew up watching a lot. But it was just kind of funny because he he is completely capable of beating up Tom, and he was also capable of beating up a dog that was beating up Tom. So he is quite a strong mouse. He's kind of like comparable to Muscles in that sense. He um Although I would say he's probably weaker than Muscles because at the end of that short, so the short starts off with Tom chasing Jerry after a incident occurs. Then this mouse cuts in, saves. Um, okay, if you want to see the short, you probably shouldn't listen to me for the next minute, but because I'm going to be spoiling it here. Um, so in the short, right? Tom is chasing Jerry over some mishap that occurs, and he gets saved by this mouse, Topo, I guess, and he states that the reason why he did it was because I guess he hates when bigger animals get pick on little animals, and that's further illustrated when he saves Tom from a stray dog that was um torturing him. And then after saving both Tom and Jerry, he somehow recognizes the two as Tom and Jerry. Like I don't understand how that works. Like, are Tom and Jerry like actors, but they travel with each other in real life and hate each other, or? And what's even stranger is that Topo at one point says "funny cartoon" as if so. In that sense, it wouldn't be real life because he was watching them as a cartoon. So it's very odd and kind of like cracks open the fourth wall a bit, and it's just strange. So after recognizing that they're both Tom and Jerry, he befriends them both and tours them around Italy. The dog he beat up earlier brings two of his buddies to get back at him. Tom and Jerry run off once they see them coming. Topo is a bit late to realize that, and by the time he does, he's ganged up on and he has to run. So even though he can clearly hold his own in a one-on-one, it seems like he's not like Muscles in the sense that he can pretty much take on an army. So yeah, he ended up getting saved by Tom and Jerry at the end by throwing wheels at cheese at the dogs, which was weird. So, but again, he's a pretty strong character. I'll put him below Cuckoo. Ah, man. My voice getting tired, or not sure if that's the best way to describe it. Alright, these guys are the ants. Um, they haven't appeared in many shorts, only like 3, I believe. And two of the times I think it was with Spike, having like a lunch or picnic or something like that. Um, but basically, whenever they show up, they're they tend to cause like I wouldn't say noise, but they kind of cause a lot of trembling with their marching. So, and they're able to pick up, well, just like real life ants, they're able to pick up items that are quite a bit heavier than they are. And they exaggerate that in the cartoon, so they usually end up getting what they want. I don't really recall a point where they lose exactly, so but again, they were only limited to like 3 appearances, and they didn't even really do that much other than steal food at one point. Um, although there was one in which Tom and Jerry were fighting over a hammock, and that wasn't about uh, food. It's kind of forgetting what happened exactly with the ants in that short, but in some way Jerry used these ants against Tom, and it worked. So, um, guess maybe at the top of B tier. Yeah, I think that's fine. Going back to the dates run, we're going with Woodstock. That's not actually his name. I'm gonna be honest, I forgot his name, and I'm not gonna try to pause to remember it, so let's just say he's Woodstock. So, in the date shorts, it's basically he kind of fills a role similar to Cuckoo, being a bird companion of Jerry. I haven't seen the short too many times, so I can't very well recall how it goes down, but I'm fairly certain that they both end up winning at the end. Again, only had one appearance. Um, I'd I would say he's probably a bit stronger than Canary, but at the same time, he had one appearance compared to Canary's two appearances. Although I guess or keep saying Canary. Um, um, compared to Cuckoo's two appearances. So I mean, I guess Cuckoo had a third appearance, but that was a stock clip, or so I guess that doesn't really count. Um, I would say that I'll just put him slightly. I'll put him below Cuckoo as a result of that one appearance. Ugh, this character. So, remember when I was talking about this baby? Yeah, this is the very negligent teenager. I believe her name is like Jeannie or something like that, and she's tasked with watching the baby, but then spends all the time talking on the phone, and whenever Tom tries to save the baby from harm and everything, she thinks that he's bothering the baby and hits him with the broom. And in the two shorts that she appears in, she pretty much ignores the baby like 99% of the time, only checks up on him once. And in one of the shorts, she she really just is quite annoying. Okay, I'm losing focus on here. I'm talking about how much I hate this character without actually trying to rank her. So again, kind of falling into a somewhat doesn't apply type category in which she doesn't exactly lose or win, but um, as far as I know, she never really got punished for being a terrible babysitter. Although at the end of one short, Tom and Jerry off screen tell a police officer what happened after she blames them two for the baby's disappearance or whatever, and then he's like, "Oh, that's totally ridiculous. That's not what happened. The baby didn't crawl away absent-mindedly, but then he sees the baby do just that at the end." So I don't know. If you were to fill in the blanks a bit, I guess you could say that maybe based upon what Tom and Jerry said, and with that baby crawling away again, the police officer believed them, and maybe this stupid babysitter got punished for it. But again, it's not shown, and it's really just speculation, so I really wouldn't count something like that. Um, I guess I would say she holds her presence against Tom, so um, probably somewhere on C tier. Now that I think about it, this cat, Meathead. I often confuse this cat Meathead with this other cat named Lightning or whatever. I just thought it was a redesigned Meathead appearance. They kind of have the same style of hair, I guess, but they're apparently two separate characters. So anyway, he only made one main appearance, and he kind of just served a alley cat type role in other cartoons, kind of like Butch or Topsy. But so in his main appearance, he's just a cat competing with Tom on trying to eat Jerry. This is, I guess, one of the few Tom and Jerry shorts where Tom actually tries to eat Jerry. So, um, he's probably not too much stronger than Tom, but he managed to hiss him off at one point, which seems to indicate to me that Tom scares him, or Tom, Tom is scared of him, so maybe slightly above Tom. I mean, in that short, he ends up losing, so um, and in his other appearances, I can't really say for sure. So I'll just put him slightly below Tom, just because of his, since he's kind of a low-profile character. Yes, Chuck Jones' interpretation of Tom. Again, like Jerry, I mean, like Tom in the initial run, um, he's really not that much of a winner either. I would say that in the entire Chuck Jones run, I would say out of all the shorts, he's probably only won once. I mean, I haven't seen that one with the cat and the duplicate short, so I'm not sure how that really. Or wait, there was a second time he did win. It was when Tom, I mean, it was when Jerry and this other gray mouse, who was either supposed to be a redesigned Nibbles or an entirely totally generic new mouse buddy for Jerry to have, are torturing Tom and pulling pranks on him. And at the end, he gains the upper hand by holding them at gunpoint. So, yeah, so he's more or less just as good as regular Tom, but is he? But the question is he better or worse? Or better or worse? Hmm, I guess I would say that maybe slightly better because it kind of feel like they made it less of a. There were quite a few cartoons where they kind of just seemed Tom, in comparison to Jerry, seemed a bit dumb at some points. Not to say that he is dumb. It just seems like at points he was rather absent-minded, and this version of Tom wasn't like that, from what I can think of. Considering he got like 2 wins in like 30 shorts, think I think that would be a good improvement over Tom. He only got like probably like 6 over 100 or something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna put him above Hanna-Barbera Tom. Yeah. Oh boy. Here we go. The character of Mammy Two Shoes. So, you know what? It's actually going to be somewhat unfair for me to make a total judgment on this character because I haven't been able to see too many of the shorts she's been in recently, and that's probably because services like Boomerang or Cartoon Network or whatever don't want racist archetypes to appear on their channel. So I kind of forgotten how well of a character she is in comparison to the rest. Like how well in terms of capability, strength, and wins. I guess I would say she's better than Tom, but she's definitely not. Um, she is generally very afraid of mice, so she's not exactly the best character. So I think I would put her at the bottom of D tier. Uncle Pecos? Pecos? Basically, it's Jerry's uncle from Texas who has a mustache for some reason. Or I guess the mustache is supposed to be his whiskers, but it looks very much like a mustache. Anyway, he only made one appearance in the classic shorts, um, and in the short, he plays he comes to visit his nephew to play his guitar for him, and then he keeps breaking a string and uses Tom's whiskers to replace the strings. And he always manages to get a whisker from Tom. So I would say he never really lost in that short. And even when Tom thinks he's about to have the last laugh at the very end of the short, um, he manages to surprisingly get one over him on him anyway. So yeah, I guess he's a very capable character, but he only made one appearance, and I wouldn't say he's as strong as Muscles, so I'd probably just put him in between. I guess Jerry's relatives are stronger than he is. um, so you know what? To be honest, I don't know this character's name at all. I probably should. I looked up almost all the names except for this one, so um, but basically, in the Chuck Jones shorts, there were two shorts in which Jerry has a pet bulldog, or yeah, I think bulldog or pit bull or something like that. But he's incredibly tiny. He's actually half Jerry's height. So, but um, despite being so small, he is able to um, use that size to his advantage because he's basically like uh basically like a heat-seeking missile with jaws. He's able to uh, like chew and tear through Tom rapidly in kind of a Tasmanian devil type manner. So, as far as I know, he never lost. I'm kind of forgetting how that second short went, but I'm pretty sure he ended up winning. So, pretty capable dog. I would say he's in between Muscles and Pecos. So, even though he only made two appearances, yeah. Actually, maybe that makes him better than Muscles because he got two appearances at least. Um, George and Joan. These were the replacement owners. The replacement owners for Tom and Jerry after, I guess, the animators or writers came to the realization that Mammy was rather dated. Um, they really don't do a lot exactly. Um, from what I kind of recall, they tend to like disappear. Like in the babysitter shorts, they just appear and then they're gone at the end. And then another short, they go out to dinner and it pretty much Tom, Jerry, and Quacker throughout that entire short is the Vanishing Cream one. Although there was one short, it was their first appearance, but they didn't actually show their face, I guess, and at the end they decided to throw out Tom and Spike because they ate too much and they were destructive. So I guess in that sense they hold something against. They can put their foot down over um Tom and Spike, but um again they had limited appearances and they didn't really do that much. So um I don't know. I guess I'll put them above Mammy. Getting there. Just only like 9 more to go. Lightning Cat. Honestly, I can't really remember very many. I can't remember many shorts they appeared in other than as kind of a alley cat background type character. I would just assume that he's below Butch. It's not exactly the most fair judgment to make, but um, I don't want any leftovers like I had last time, so go with that. Um, so this character is known by the name Porpoise, which is weird because porpoise usually describes a dolphin-like mammal of the sea, and this is like an actual fish, a shark. He makes 4 appearances in the Chuck Jones shorts, although the designs are rather different, and it could be argued that they're separate characters and that they're just resorting to the same shark um, idea over and over, but by designing different characters. Um, so in this appearance, he ends up actually another spoiler. He ends up getting canned, like becoming jammed into a can, uh, like a cannery for like fish and things. So in that one, he lost. One of his other appearances, he scares off both Tom and Jerry. And then in another one, he constantly menaces Tom, but I wouldn't exactly say he won in that short. In fact, Tom started off with the upper hand by beating him with a surfboard. It was see that's one of the funny moments in Jones run. Just uh, anyway, so I'm forgetting his fourth appearance, but he's not exactly a top tier character. Oh man. Now I realize I haven't really used F tier a lot. Should I put him there? Hmm, suppose I will. I think I would actually put these guys at the bottom too, considering they lost in their first appearance. Anyone else? You know what? I wonder if I should shift the placement because even though he relied on Tom's help, he did prove to be rather capable, but again, he only made one appearance, so not really sure. Alright, let's get the big one out of the way. Jerry. Yes. He is clearly an S tier character, because a lot of the shorts focus in on him, and I mean, it wouldn't be the point where I would say Tom is a secondary character, but he's definitely a winner. He's got like probably over 90 wins on Tom, where Tom only has like 6. So, yeah, top best here. Same goes for the Dates run of Tom and Jerry. I don't think Jerry in the Dates run actually ever lost. So maybe in that sense, it's actually better. Um, Then all Jerry's out. This is the Chuck Jones of Tom and Jerry, and didn't lose 2, like I said. And maybe there was an extra one, but I'm not really recalling at the point, or at this point. So I would say probably at the bottom, yeah. This is Dates Tom. Yeah, I don't think he won a single short, so he goes into F tier for sure. And now this character is a robot, clearly, and it is. I just remembered something. There was actually a MGM theatrical, like MGM Hanna-Barbera theatrical short where they get this robotic cat. It's called the Push Button Kitty or something. And you know what? I should have put it on this list because it would have been a nice companion piece for this one because we have 2 robotic cats from 2 eras of the theatrical series. So, um, but I mean, I guess I have the time, but it would just kind of be annoying. I don't know. Maybe at some point when I do another tier list, I will put that in at the beginning. So in the Chuck Jones shorts, there are like these 3 episodes that are set in space, like in the future, where Jerry is trying to steal cheese from this space station, and Tom is like the guard, and he's using like an advanced surveillance system, and he sometimes remotely or manually tries to stop Jerry, and they're honestly kind of fun. Um, the shorts where they're in the future doing these kind of things. Um, um, he only appeared in 3, and he didn't exactly win. He didn't win any. He didn't win in 2 of the shorts, but in 1, he eventually got tired of Tom just controlling him around to the point where he put I guess, a mind control device on Tom, so he can be the one using Tom to beat up Jerry. Although in a twist of fate, as Jerry is laughing at this outcome, um, the the robot mouse down here that he controls also does the same to him, and then they uh, use the mind control devices on both of them, and then use Tom and Jerry to fight each other physically rather than with, well, themselves. So I would say that was a win for both of them in that sense. Um, I would probably put him at the top of F tier, and this guy would go at the top of C tier. And all that leaves now is Toodles, which is a dumb name, I think. So this is basically a cat that Tom tries to woo, I guess, and again, like once again, she kind of falls into this character kind of falls into that doesn't exactly apply, but you have to kind of think about it. So it's pretty much neutral. So not exactly good or bad. So I guess I will put it at the bottom of C tier for that. Man, okay, that is all the characters. Um, man. Although one thing about that push button kitty, it's been so long since I actually watched it. I forgot how it turned out, so I'm gonna assume it failed, but can't say for sure. So couldn't fairly judge it, I suppose. Now, I guess the only thing left for me to do is just to overlook this and see if I should do just a bit of tier shuffling. Um, Perhaps I should put Tom up onto D, maybe? D? I don't know. I mean, he clearly doesn't win very much. You know what? I think this list is good for the most part. A lot of the A tier characters are populated by one time or two time characters, so um wonder if that makes it a bit unfair. At the same time, I don't believe they should be counted in S tier due to the limited number of appearances, so I feel like I should at least have one main or recurring character in there, other than this bulldog and canary. Perhaps Nibbles could go into A tier at the bottom. You know what? I think he should because let's think about it. These ants, despite never losing, they only made like 3 appearances, but Nibbles made tons of appearances, and I would consider him one of the main characters of the series. So I think he certainly deserved a spot on A list, A spot. So I'd put Spike above the baby due to the fact he only had 2 shorts. Um, and maybe I should put Quacker higher up. Yeah, I should definitely do that. In fact, he should probably take Nibble's spot. He only lost like once, so I think that's fair. I'll put him above the baby Ben, I guess that's his name. And he can go at the top of C tier because he had definitely more appearances than this guy. So that's fair. And just because I hate that babysitter character, I'm gonna put Tools above her. So, yeah, I think this list is pretty much done. Nothing else, not much else for me to comment on or say anything about. Um, well, yeah, I guess that's it. So, for anyone that actually watched this and the previous Tom and Jerry tier list video that I did, thanks, and I hope you enjoyed my insight into Tom and Jerry. And I mean, it may seem kind of stupid to be such a huge fan of this series, but let's be honest, like, how many, how much in terms of animated entertainment today in America is all that good? Like, these shorts really stand the test of time, and maybe seen as kind of lame or nerdy to care so much about this, but it's quality and it deserves it. So any, anyone that shares that sentiment, anyone that shares that sentiment, um, respect, and I hope you can all stay safe from, well, the world, I guess. So have a good time.